Welcome to the public information meeting for the US 41 at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way and Myrtle Street intersections Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study. The Florida Department of Transportation, or FDOT, District 1, in cooperation with the FDOT Office of Environmental Management, or OEM, the Sarasota Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, the City of Sarasota, and Sarasota County is holding this meeting to provide you with information and to obtain your comments about the proposed intersection improvements to and between the intersections of US 41 at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way and Myrtle Street. The length of the project is approximately 1/2 of a mile. The environmental review consultation and other actions required by applicable federal environmental laws for this project are being or have been carried out by the FDOT pursuant to 23 U.S.C. subsection 327 and a Memorandum of Understanding dated December 14, 2016, and executed by the Federal Highway Administration and FDOT. The objective of this PD&E study is to evaluate and document the engineering and environmental issues associated with the proposed improvements along US 41 and at the intersections of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way and Myrtle Street, and then select a recommended alternative based upon that analysis. The purpose of this project is to enhance safety, non-motorized connectivity and access, as well as vehicular traffic flow and operations between residences and schools of the northern downtown Sarasota area and the Bayfront area. The proposed improvements are similar to improvements that have been identified at other intersections along US 41 that are intended to improve traffic flow and enhance safety. The US 41 intersection improvements have been identified in the 2030 Sarasota City Plan, also known as the Comprehensive Plan. It is also included as part of the Sarasota Manatee 2040 Long-Range Transportation Plan and Transportation Improvement Program. The department is considering two build alternatives for the US 41 at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way intersection and the US 41 at Myrtle Street intersection. Alternative 1 proposes to improve both existing signalized intersections, and Alternative 2 proposes to construct partial two-lane roundabouts at both intersections. Each alternative has the option to include buffered bicycle lanes between the intersections, Alternatives 1A and 2A, or not include buffered bicycle lanes between the intersections, Alternatives 1B and 2B. And each alternative proposes a continuous closed median from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way to Myrtle Street. All the alternatives mostly fit within the existing right-of-way between the two intersections. The improved signalized intersections require additional right-of-way approaching each intersection to accommodate a left turn lane adjacent to a traffic separator. The roundabout alternatives require right-of-way at each quadrant of the intersections. The typical section with buffered bicycle lanes between the intersections for Alternatives 1A and 2A includes an 8-foot continuous landscaped median with two 10-foot travel lanes on each side, followed by a 6-foot buffered bicycle lane, a 2-foot curb and gutter, and an 8-foot concrete sidewalk adjacent to the curb. The typical section with no buffered bicycle lanes between the intersections for Alternatives 1B and 2B includes an 8-foot continuous landscaped median with one 10-foot travel lane on each side, followed by an 11-foot travel lane and a 2-foot curb and gutter. The west side of US 41 will include 4 feet of separation from the curb, followed by a 10-foot concrete sidewalk, 1 foot flat, and grading to the existing ground. The east side of US 41 will have an 8-foot sidewalk adjacent to the curb, 1 foot flat, and grading to the existing ground. The department has developed a traffic simulation model of the improved signalized corridor alternative under traffic conditions expected for the year 2040. For the improved signalized intersection alternatives 1A and 1B, the lane configurations would remain the same. The signal timings would be modified. The median opening between the 2 signalized intersections would be closed, and the turn lanes on US 41 would be lengthened. Closing the median openings between the 2 intersections will simplify traffic operations and greatly reduce the number of left turn and angle crashes that totaled 33 in a recent 5-year period. The department also developed a traffic simulation model of the improved roundabout corridor alternative under traffic conditions expected for the year 2040. For the roundabout alternatives 2A and 2B, the existing signalized intersections would be replaced with partial 2-lane roundabouts, and the median openings between the 2 roundabouts would be closed. Roundabouts are known to reduce speeds along a corridor and improve pedestrian accommodations. Even though speeds are reduced, roundabouts can still process more vehicles through an intersection due to the continuous flow of traffic. This results in reduced delay for all motorists and less congestion at the intersection. The roundabouts developed for the intersections of US 41 at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way and US 41 at Myrtle Street can also accommodate large trucks. A truck apron will also be provided to give extra space for larger vehicles. A comparison of the signal build alternative versus the roundabout build alternative shows the vehicular delays are similar in the AM and PM peak hours. At both intersections, delays at the side street approaches with a roundabout are significantly reduced. In addition, both intersections with roundabouts will experience reduced vehicular delays in the off-peak hours when traffic volumes are less. From a safety perspective, the roundabout corridor alternative will greatly reduce the number of fatalities, severe and/or minor injuries, because any crashes likely to occur will happen at lower speeds and at reduced angles. The total cost, including right-of-way, of the improved signalized intersections with buffered bicycle lanes is approximately $8.7 million for Alternative 1A. The total cost, including right-of-way, of the improved signalized intersections with no buffered bicycle lanes is approximately $8.1 million for Alternative 1B. The total cost, including right-of-way, of the roundabout intersections with buffered bicycle lanes is approximately $12.7 million for Alternative 2A. The total cost, including right-of-way, of the roundabout intersections with no buffered bicycle lanes is approximately $13.2 million for Alternative 2B. Life cycle cost evaluations compare the total project costs for the design life of 15 years. These costs include construction, design, right-of-way, and construction engineering inspection, projected crashes, project travel delays, and project maintenance. The average total life cycle cost for Alternative 1 improved signals is $68.3 million compared to an average cost of $44.6 million for Alternative 2 roundabouts. Another valid alternative being considered is the no-build alternative. This alternative assumes that no improvements will be provided along US 41 from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way to Myrtle Street through the year 2040, except for routine maintenance. There are advantages and disadvantages associated with the no-build alternative. The advantages to the no-build alternative include no inconvenience to traffic flow due to construction operations, no right-of-way acquisition, design, or construction costs, and no direct impacts to the adjacent natural and human environment. The disadvantages of the no-build alternative include an increase in traffic congestion and user delays, increased traffic congestion on the surrounding roadway network, an increase in air pollutants due to traffic congestion, no improvement in safety conditions for bicyclists and pedestrians utilizing the US 41 corridor from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way to Myrtle Street, not consistent with the 2030 Sarasota City Plan, and not consistent with the Sarasota-Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization's 2040 Long Range Transportation Plan and Transportation Improvement Program. The total life cycle cost for the no-build alternative is $58.7 million. An important component of this study is the comparative evaluation of the environmental effects associated with each alternative. The evaluation is being conducted in accordance with the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969 as amended and other federal requirements. It includes the consideration of the project's effect on the social, cultural, natural, and physical environments. The major criteria upon which each of the proposed alternatives and the no-build alternative are being evaluated are presented in a comparative matrix that is contained in the project handout and displayed this evening. Among the factors evaluated in the study are threatened and endangered species and their habitat, wetlands and floodplains, recreational lands, cultural resources, social impacts, effects to the human environment such as air, noise, and aesthetics, and project costs. The measure of these effects, as well as comments received from the public, local governments, and review agencies, will help the department select the recommended alternative. Over the next few months, the alternatives will continue to be refined and evaluated to develop the recommended alternative. During a formal public hearing, tentatively scheduled for the summer of 2019, FDOT will present the recommended alternative and the no-build alternative to the public for review and comments. The PD&E study will be complete when location and design concept acceptance is granted from FDOT's Office of Environmental Management following the public hearing. Currently, the design of the improvements for US 41 at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way and Myrtle Street intersections is funded in fiscal year 2020 in the department's adopted 5-year work program. Right-of-way acquisition and construction are not funded at this time. This meeting is one of your opportunities to provide comments on the study and each of the proposed alternatives. Your comments are a very important part of the decision-making process. Please take the time to complete the comment sheet attached to the handout and locate it on the comment table, and place it in the comment box tonight, or take it home, complete it, and mail the form to Project Manager David C. Turley, postmarked no later than December 21, 2018. The mailing address is noted on the back of the comment sheet. You can also access the project website at www.swflroads.com/US41/at Myrtle Street and MLK Jr. Way to submit your comments, or email them to david.turley at dot.state.fl.us. Thank you for attending and participating in the meeting this evening and for your interest in the US 41 at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way and Myrtle Street intersections PD&E study.